Hi everyone, welcome to our UJV webinar, The Art of Personalized Adventure with 11. I'm excited. Thank you all so much for joining. I'm excited to introduce Louise Brooks, who's gonna give us an overview about the 11 collection. Very excited to travel with her between France, Bahamas, and Iceland. And we also have Joni Maro, our Director of Product, who's also going to be hosting this webinar. We're going
Right.
to give everyone a few more minutes to join. If you have any questions, please feel free to write it in the chat and we will host a Q&A after it. Also, this webinar is going to be recorded and you're going to be receiving the recording after the webinar.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Again, just like Mariana said, we really appreciate your support and for joining Louise and I. We're going to start in probably just about another minute, give some people some time to come in, and then I'll start taking you through these wonderful properties through UGV. Let's see.
Awesome. Can everyone see us and hear us clearly?
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you.
Awesome, you guys. Well, you're going to just start in one more minute. Appreciate your guys' patience and time. Really excited and a little nervous, but excited. Okay. Wow, we have a really nice turnout so far. Okay, so hi everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and get started today. Mariana, just stay on this side until I tell you. Um, okay, well, good morning everybody and welcome. Like Mariana mentioned in the beginning, my name is Joni, and I will be taking you through the incredible world of 11 experiences and properties in France, Iceland, and the Bahamas. I'm joined with Luis, the Global Director of Sales, Marketing, and Partnerships, and we're going to go through this together. The 11 lodges are incredibly unique. They are private gateways to remote and pristine locations around the globe. And every day is tailored to your clients. They create custom itineraries, they have expert guides, and unmatched attention to detail. They can truly personalize the entire stay to fit the needs of your clients. And what I want to do today in this webinar, the goal that I have is that I want to highlight how UJV also fits into these properties. We can help you book them, of course, offer expert advice. But once on property, 11, and Louise will explain it too, 11 really takes care of your clients' every single need. UJV fits in on the before and the after, the pre and the post, helping you craft full itineraries, including the 11 property, and adding in the pre and post, helping you book the flights, the restaurants, the guides, etc. Next slide, please. I want to introduce you to myself and the product team first because I really want to highlight that every hotel, service provider, and guide in our portfolio is vetted by our internal teams, including me and my team. Every hotel, service provider, and guide used to elevate your itinerary is managed by the product team at UJV. And we have incredibly strong relationships with our partners on the ground to ensure that you have the smoothest operation possible. And since today we're focusing on the 11 properties in Iceland and in France, in addition to the Bahamas, I thought it was really important to understand that we have a Europe product team based in Europe, making sure we are on the ground, vetting our partners personally, and offering you expert advice and figuring out what works. Next slide, please. And since we're starting out talking about France and the chalets that 11 has there, I wanted to highlight that we have a dedicated team, a wonderful team of Europe reservation agents. They're focused exclusively on Europe and booking the full itinerary. Moving on. So whether in France or in the Bahamas, 11 properties extend globally. UJV can support the full and complete itinerary. Now, I know I probably sound like a broken record. I say full and complete itinerary a bunch, but it's because it's what I am the most passionate about conveying to people. UJV does not just book the hotel. Of course, we can, and we can support in booking a wonderful property like the ones in Eleven's portfolio. But we can also build the full itinerary around it. We book the international air, we do the private transfers, the VIP meet and greet, restaurant and spa reservations. We have a full team of concierge to support in booking services, and we contract directly with the local guides and the small suppliers on the ground, ensuring the most personalized, exceptional service for you and your clients. And we can also create custom tours and experiences based on the needs of your clients to add that personalized touch. Next slide, please. All right. So we're going to start now in France, and I'm going to have Louise um, introduce her two incredible chalets in France, and then I'll let her introduce those to you, and then I'll share how to combine those with UJV hotels and services as part of a larger itinerary within France. So Louise, you want to take it away?
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so let's start with our chalets, which are in the French Alps. As you can see on this map, Geneva is the closest access point. But typically, clients are combining our chalets with Paris or other destinations. A unique selling point is we only have a 4-night minimum stay, which is quite unique for a chalet experience in the Alps. Most have 7 nights. So the 4 nights aspect just allows your clients to create a wider itinerary, even if they don't have a huge amount of time. One thing I like to say is that you can land in Switzerland in Geneva, you can stay in France at our chalets, and within a few minutes, you can be over the border in Italy. So you can experience 3 countries while staying at our chalets. But yeah, if you could go to the next slide. So we are located in this tiny little village, and this kind of runs through all of Eleven's properties. Our properties are typically in very remote, off the beaten path locations or in small mountain towns away from the main tourist hustle and bustle in the larger resorts. So we're in a little village called Les Miroirs, which you can see in the top left image. And our head guide's family have been in this village for 5 generations. So guests really just slip into local life and feel like a local from the moment they arrive. We are open summer and winter season, and whatever the season, the scenery is absolutely incredible, as you can see from these photos. We've got views of glaciers, we've got lakes where you can go swimming in the summer, and then we have 7 ski resorts within a 10-mile radius. So if we could go to the next slide. So the two chalets we have are Chalet Ibu and Chalet Pèlerin. So we'll start with Chalet Ibu, which is our larger chalet. This has 7 bedrooms. Typically, guests are taking it exclusively, but we do open up individual rooms occasionally a little bit closer to departure date for last minute reservations. As you can see, every detail has been thought out, but then they're kind of understated luxury. They're not glitz and glam, marble and gold. They're very French in style and very authentic. And again, that kind of style runs through all of our properties. They all very much depict a sense of place. But the property itself, as I said, has 7 rooms. It has a media room, wine cellar, sauna, and just plenty of space, as you can see from that top left image. It's a pretty huge chalet, so lots of space for guests. And if you ever have larger groups, you can also take both chalets. They are right next door to each other. Moving on to the next slide. So yeah, here you can see some of the rooms. They're all different shapes and sizes. They all kind of have their own theme. And on property, as Joni said, we look after the whole package essentially. So we have a full on-staff team, which includes our experience managers, which are essentially our on-site concierge, who are really kind of finding out the details about guests ahead of the stay and then on property, really making sure we're delivering that 11 out of 10 experience. Um, Max capacity is 16 people here. But yeah, we have on-site chef and we take care of all of the meals. We just don't include lunch because people are out on the mountains and Some people want to go to the bakery, others want a Michelin star lunch. So we can help with those reservations. But just know the minute your clients arrive with us, we're looking after all of their transfers to all of their activities and taking care of their meals, restaurant reservations, ski boot hire, whatever they might need. We take care of all of those details. Okay, next slide, please. So moving on to Chalet Pellerin, which is our 5 bedroom chalet, and it is right next door to Chalet Ibu, just slightly behind, and very similar in style. Chalet Pellerin has a very small swimming pool with resistance jets, so you can go swimming, and it has some large outdoor deck areas with incredible views. All of our properties have a gear room, so we provide all of the technical equipment with the skis, the dry suits if you're going whitewater rafting, whatever it may be. And our guides will get everything set up for each and every day, and each guest has their own little cubby hole, as you can see in that middle image at the top. Next slide. And yeah, again, here just some of the rooms very similar to Chalet Ibu, all their own style, all with kind of amazing views. And we also have a sauna, fire pit. So yeah. And so one thing about Chalet Pellerin is it's exclusive use only. Okay, yeah, moving on to the adventures. So as I mentioned, we're open summer and winter season. So in the summer, we have such a huge list of activities your guests can take part in. All of our guides are in-house and they are extremely experienced, extremely highly qualified, but more importantly, well, maybe not more importantly, but they are just awesome, awesome people and they truly elevate the experience for your guests. And, when we say adventure, some people imagine the most hardcore adventure and, that concerns them. But really, we can tailor it to exactly what your clients are looking for. That could be a very gentle hike, a stroll around a local village, or it could be the more adrenaline-fueled whitewater rafting or via cordata. There is just a long list, and we really figure out what the guests are hoping for and then go away and create a very personalized adventure for them. And the beauty of us having all of our own in-house guides is that, we might map out a suggested itinerary before your guests arrive. But once they're in-house, they can chop and change their mind. They might have a bike ride planned and wake up in the morning and decide they'd rather do a yoga lesson. And, it's extremely flexible. So then moving on to our winter activities. As I mentioned, we have 7 world-class ski resorts right on our doorstep. So we're not in a resort, as I showed you from that little village photo, but this gives guests ultimate flexibility. Why go all the way to France to ski and just ski in one resort? With us, you could ski in a different ski resort every day, and that's Le Plan, Val d'Isère, Tignes, Sainte-Foy, which is a few minutes away. We include all the lift passes, it's all fully guided. All of the transfers to and from the resorts are all included in the rates. And you can take your guide's lead as well. He could wake up and say, right, it snowed over here, let's go here. Or, it's super busy in Val d'Isère yesterday, let's go somewhere quieter today. So ultimate flexibility. And of all of our ski resorts, it just, we can take all abilities. The kids could be at ski school, and others could be heli skiing over in Italy. Okay, next slide. So yeah, just a little slide about our rates, just to give you a rough starting price. So Ebu starting from 12,400, rack rates for exclusive use, Pellerin slightly smaller, slightly cheaper. As I mentioned, 4-night minimum stay. And those rates, yeah, they include breakfast, après, dinner, non-alcoholic drinks, and a huge number of activities, all privately guided with our guide teams. Okay, that's the chalets in a very quick nutshell.
Thank you. That was awesome. I just love that they're immersive, like microcosms, and like you can create the full itinerary within one destination and remote and personalized. I think it's really special. So thank you so much for presenting that. I want to show you guys now how to combine either of those properties as part of a larger itinerary that UJV can help support. So just to reorient yourself, this is a map of France. Mariana, do you want to go to the next slide? Cool. So I think beginning or ending in Paris, like Louise mentioned, is quite common as a pre and post, and it's really the most popular, obvious choice, beginning with one of France's great cities. You could stay 3 nights, and then you would need to fly into either Geneva or Lyon, which she'd mentioned, to embark on your journey to the 11 properties. The flight time is approximately 2.5 hours. You can also take the train, but the flight is much more common and comfortable. We can help you with the train though, of course. And then once you arrive in either Geneva or Lyon, it's about a 2.5 hour drive to the 11 properties. So Paris as a pre actually combines quite well. Mariana, do you want to go to the next one? Thank you so much. And then in Paris, if you're doing either the pre or the post, you could stay at one of the 23 incredible UJV preferred hotels that we have in Paris, including some of our newest additions. We have the Peninsula now, Shangri-La, Phuquet's, and La Reserve Apartments. So we have a really large portfolio there. And going on to the experiences that you can book with UJV. Just like 11 will personalize your experience once in the Alps, we can personalize everything before and after. UJV has a dedicated Europe team, like I mentioned before, who can support you with services while in Paris. Some of our favorites include, we have some really cool services. A vintage car tour of Paris and Versailles. We have shopping experiences. We have food tours. We have cooking classes and cooking schools. And we even have really unique experiences for families as well, like museum tours catered to kids. We have family photo shoots at famous monuments that we can help coordinate. And again, just to highlight, we contract directly with the local suppliers and guides. It's very important to note that. And we can also curate these experiences to make them more personalized for your clients. And then we can also include, if you're going to, Louise mentioned that the summer is also an amazing time to go to the chalets as well. So if you're going in the summer and you want to add 3 to 4 nights in the south or even more, the south of France, you can easily combine the Riviera with her properties too. It's about an hour and a half flight from Geneva or Lyon to Nice. So it's a really easy addition. Or they can even arrange a helicopter for your clients. And next, yeah, and just like in Paris, we have an incredible portfolio of hotels that we could do with the pre and the post in the Riviera in the south as well. We have icons like Lana Gresco. We have incredible properties in Provence like Chateau de Bern or Coquillade. And then, of course, the new Como and Saint-Tropez, which is very popular right now. And next slide, just to talk quickly about the experiences. Again, I know I sound like the broken record, but I'm just really passionate about explaining all of the different features that UJV can offer and include as part of a greater itinerary. So we definitely have a lot of experiences in the Riviera as well. We have wine tasting, we have e-bike tours in Nice. We can do fragrance experiences and perfume workshops, and we even have like a helicopter tour, which we can take you around the Riviera on. But again, we can fully customize these to the needs of your client as well if they don't want something, ready-made. And last, before we pop into the next 11 property, it really depends on your length of stay and what you want to include or see. But I just love how many options there are to expand the itinerary after your stay at one of the chalets. UJV can book your transfer from La Merois to Lake Como or Lake Garda, for example, which is an incredibly scenic drive. It's only 4 to 6 hours away, depending. And if you include a lunch stop, which we can also book for you, it really makes for a fun road trip to either one of the lakes. And like in Paris in the south of France, UJV has a curated portfolio of top hotels in either Lake Garda or the Lake Como area, such as Villa d'Este, or we have La Fay and Grand Hotel Fasano in Lake Garda. And similarly, we can help book those experiences for you as well. Again, they can be tailor-made to whatever your client wants, or we have some ready-made tours and experiences from our local suppliers. We could do boat tours. We could do themed boat tours like a James Bond tour or like a Spritz tour. We can even do day trips to Milan to see the Last Supper as well. So you could really complete like a full itinerary after you're staying at the 11 properties. And then I wanted to highlight that we also, if you ever need help while you're in travel in Europe, UJV now has a Europe in travel team who's based on the ground in Europe, and they have WhatsApp chats directly with your clients. They're able to assist at all times, and this is a copy of the conversations that they have with your clients because it's a really incredible service, and they're so amazing. So make sure to ask one of your UJV reservation agents today about that service. All right. So now from beautiful France, let's go to another destination, Iceland. And then I'm going to have Luis kind of explain about Deplar Farm. It's such an incredible product. And then just keep in mind that Deplar Farm's in the north of Iceland. So if you wanted to combine with Reykjavik or another destination in Iceland like Vik or Huff, or if you want to rent a car and do the ring road, UJV can help support you through our global portfolio with those options as well. All right, Luis, take us to probably the most beautiful hotel I've ever seen. Not even hotel, property experience.
Yeah, thanks, Doni. So yeah, jumping into Iceland now. So as you can see on this map, Depla Farm is in the north of Iceland. We're a couple of miles from the Arctic Sea and about, I think it's about 13 miles from the Arctic Circle. So extremely far north, and there's just not another soul around us. To access, either you can drive during the summer months, or you can fly domestically from Reykjavik up to Akureyri. And there's a couple of flights a day, and it's about a 40-minute flight. Of course, you can fly privately, you can land straight into Akureyri, you can take helicopters. So depending on your client's budget, there are numerous ways to get to us. But once in Akureyri, either you can helicopter or we collect guests from the airport. And it's a 90-minute drive to the property. Extremely scenic. You're driving down fjords and really just getting to know your guide along the way. Okay, next slide. Here are just some photos of the dramatic scenery that surrounds this lodge. So the property is a 15th century sheep farm that our owner purchased and then kind of renovated and expanded. This is our largest property with 13 rooms and very much our flagship property. Next slide, please. So a little glimpse to the interiors, very different in style to the chalets, as you can see. Here it's very kind of Nordic in style, tying in lots of local influences, floor to ceiling glass all around. So summer, winter, no matter what the weather, you can enjoy the views from the comfort of the lodge. We have lots of seating areas, a media room, bar area, a communal dining table where everyone gathers for dinner at the end of the day. We have a geothermal swimming pool and a 5,000 square foot spa. Okay, next slide. Rooms wise, so we have 10 king bedrooms, five of which have a kind of mezzanine area with an extra bed up there. Two smaller queen size rooms, and then we have a bunk room that's shown in this photo that has four beds in. So perfect for the teenagers. I mean, the beds are large enough to sleep adults if everyone wants to pile in. But as you can see again, each room has its own identity, all with views north or south. And then, yeah, our geothermal pool. So often people ask, when's the best time of year to come? And I think it really depends on just what your clients are looking for. And as I talk through the adventures, hopefully it will give you a good idea of what's on offer depending on the time of year. So yeah, starting with summer, our summer season runs June to September. And much like the chalets, a long list of activities available, all extremely scalable from gentle hikes to adrenaline-fueled cliff jumping or glacier climbing, whatever it might be. You can also take helicopters to go to even more remote destinations in northern Iceland. Again, it's all in-house guides, super flexible itineraries. And I think more so than any of our other properties, guests plan their itinerary before they arrive, but I think the reality is that 9 times out of 10, that itinerary changes. Either they get chatting to someone at the bar who's done something super cool in the day and they want to do the same, or the weather kind of dictates what's possible. We might have to switch the itinerary around. So yeah, that is summer. So it's perfect for those who want to pack in adventure. At this time of year, it barely gets dark. In June, it doesn't get dark. So, we can be out doing activities till later in the evening, which is kind of unique. Then moving to winter season. So winter's from October through to February. As you can see, it just turns into this total winter wonderland the minute the snow arrives. And, it kind of depends when the snow arrives. Up until then, we're doing the more summer-based activities. And then the minute there's snow, we have Nordic skiing, fat biking, snowshoeing. You can go surfing in the Arctic if you're feeling brave. But I would say in the winter, our spa really comes into its own. We get a lot more wellness-focused guests who, are not coming for the adventure. Typically, they're coming to enjoy the spa. We have a Viking sauna ritual, which is a combination of breathing exercises and hot and cold immersion. We have a sound bath healing room. And of course, the Northern Lights, which is a huge draw in the winter months. So, yeah, and then moving on to our third season that we have throughout the year is our heli ski season. We have over 1 million acres of skiable terrain. So it's, incredible vast area where we can cater to the more intermediate skiers who might be trying heli skiing for the first time to the most advanced skiers looking for something more challenging. And we can mix in skiing with snowmobiling, surfing. All of the winter activities are available during this heli ski season as well. And we also accept non-skiers during this period as well. So always worth bearing in mind if you have people that just want to come and enjoy the spa and snowmobiling or Nordic skiing, we can also welcome them during this time as well. Next slide. So yeah, just an idea of the rates. So winter starts from around 4,200, slightly more expensive in summer, and then higher again for the heli season, which includes all of the heli skiing. Due to our remote location, we include all meals, we include non-alcoholic drinks and transfers from Akureyri Airport by car. And then a huge long list of guided adventures. There are a few adventures that are additional cost, such as horse riding, helicopter activities, and whitewater rafting, but the majority are included in the rates.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're gonna try to warm you up a little and we're gonna go to the Bahamas now. Before Louise jumps into Bahama House in the Out Islands, I just wanted to highlight, next slide, Mariana. Thank you, my friend. How UJV can help with your stay in Nassau first before you fly to Harbor Island. We have a series of contracted preferred hotels, including Goldwyn, Albany, Rosewood, and we can support you with arrival and departure transfers from the airport, from our team on the ground, as well as VIP meet and greet upon arrival. So it's definitely worth it if you wanted to extend your stay in the Bahamas, and including Nassau before departing to Harbor Island. And this is where we're gonna finish. Luis, take us there. Next slide, Mariana. Thank you.
Awesome. So, welcome to Bahama House. So, we are located on Harbor Island, which is a very small island. It's 3 miles long by 1.5 miles wide and accessed via North Eleuthera Airport. And from there, you take a taxi and then a boat over to Harbor Island. And as Joni mentioned, either guests are just coming to us for a long weekend, maybe a quick break from the US, or they're coming for longer island hopping trips, or maybe combining a few nights in Miami with Harbor Island. I guess it just depends what your clients are looking for. But if we go to the next slide, I will show you what to expect. So turquoise waters, pink sand beaches, colorful architecture. Harbor Island, it's a home of the glitz and glam. There's kind of a billionaire's row there, but the island has really kind of retained its charm and low-key island life. There are some amazing restaurants and bars. And yeah, it's just a very lovely place to spend a few days. And it's very different to our other destinations, less so adventure. Most people are coming to relax for a few days. Next slide, please. So this is Bahama House. It's an old colonial building or buildings right in the heart of Dunmore town. So we are within walking distance from numerous bars and restaurants, and you kind of walk up to the property, and then once you're through the door, you're in this kind of very peaceful oasis, and it feels like a private house. There is plenty of space. The rooms are all divided up into numerous buildings. So even when it's just bookable by, you can book exclusively or by individual room. And even if you just have a room, there's plenty of space for all guests. It's very much a boutique hotel offering. We're not located on the beach. As I mentioned, we are in the town. Everyone gets around by golf buggy or bike on the island. And we have a beach set up on a kind of quieter area of the beach. So it's about a 3-minute golf buggy ride away. There's a beach attendant there all day who can bring drinks, food, and all the kind of water sports equipment is all set up for our guests. And the beauty of that is we are further up the beach from the other resorts. So it's quieter. People have a bit of space, which is lovely. So moving on to the next slide. Again, all the rooms have their own charm. We have two-bedroom cottages, which have a kind of central living area, as that middle top photo shows, and then two queen-size bedrooms. So we have two of those, so perfect for, two couples traveling together or a family traveling together. And then we have numerous other rooms, all different shapes and sizes, but very colourful, lots of Caribbean influence. And as I mentioned, it's available for exclusive use or individual room reservations. It's extremely popular for events. We get a lot of people taking it exclusively for 50th, 60th birthday parties, multi-gen family get-togethers. It works brilliantly for that. If we go to the next slide. So our rates here just include breakfast, après, and soft drinks because most people just want to come and relax. However, there is a long list of things that guests can arrange if they want to be busy each day. So the area is known for bone fishing. You can take rib boats out to sandbars. You can do sunset boat trips, yoga on the beach, yoga, snorkeling, diving, stand-up paddleboarding. The list is pretty endless, but all of the water sports you would expect. And the photo in the middle at the bottom just gives you an idea of our beach setup. And yeah, that's just our guests that are there. Obviously, no beach is private on Harbour Island, but we're just away from the crowds typically. Next slide. Yeah, so we are open November through to August. Rates start from around 630 per room per night. And as I mentioned, that includes breakfast, all non-alcoholic drinks, après, the bikes to get around, and the Pink Sands Beach experience with an attendant. And then, as with all of our other properties, we have our experienced managers on property who can, plan all of the other activities your guests might want to do or help suggest where you might want to go to eat. And as I mentioned, for the events, there are a whole load of things we can do, but we can get a whole band festival on the beach to celebrate whatever the milestone might be. We could do beach fire pits. We've also done a couple of very intimate weddings. So yeah, it's a very versatile property and just very easy access, especially from the east coast of the US. There are direct flights from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Charlotte. So for a long weekend, for some sun and some Caribbean lifestyle, it's the perfect getaway.
Yes. Awesome. All right. So before we conclude, after our world tour, I just wanted to introduce you all to Earn Not Bought if you haven't already heard. This is our top producer incentive trip for 2026, or 2027. What year is it? 2027. Sorry. 4 winners overall and regional leaders across Africa, Europe, and tropics. And you earn 14 nights through some of the most extraordinary properties in the world, St. Bart's, Paris, and South Africa, and more. So book your UJV travel, set the standard, and this trip could be yours. All right, Mariana, we are done. Thank you all for your time and support. It was really fun. But we can open it up to questions now. You guys have any? You can put them in the chat. Hmm. We're a quiet group. Ah, okay. Louise, I'll let you take these. This is what is the pink sand beach with the attendant?
Yeah, so because our properties are not directly on the beach, we have a beach set up on Harbour Island's pink sand beaches, and that is fully staffed with a beach attendant who can get drinks, help with, whatever you might need. So essentially our own little beach club, a 3-minute golf buggy ride away from our property.
We have a question from Morgan. Is there a festive minimum night stay for the Bahamas?
Yeah, I think it's 5 nights. We've been full over this year's festive for a while now, but I think it was 5 nights. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other question, comments? If not, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It was a pleasure seeing you all, and we hope to see you on our next UJV webinar. Thank you so much, Luis and Joni. We have
Wait,
one last question
thank
from
you, Tina. Sorry.
It's per room. So roughly 5,000 per room per night. So based on 2-person occupancy.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks everyone. It was great
Thanks,
to have you
everyone.
all
Have
on
a
this
nice
call.
day.
Bye. Thank you.